So today, I got around to seeing Logan, the newest installment in the X-Men franchise. It's supposed to be the final portrayal of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, since he's been Wolverine in the franchise for the last 17 years. It's hard to believe it's been 17 years. But yeah, it's kind of loosely based around the storyline in the comic books called Old Man Logan. But when I say loose, I mean really loose, because most of the characters involved in that storyline are owned by different studios, several different studios. But that's a story for a whole nother time. The movie is directed by James Mangold, who also did the last Wolverine movie a couple of years ago. So it's nice that he actually decided to come back and do another movie. So for starters, to basically summarize the plot, the film takes place in the future of the X-Men franchise continuity. I forget how much farther into the continuity it is, but the X-Men franchise continuity is kind of a mess as it is. So yeah, take that for what it's worth. In this time in the future, most of the mutants are dead. Not all of them, but a large majority. And because of that, Logan went into hiding. He doesn't heal as well, and because of that, he's getting kind of old. And during that, him and this other mutant named Caliban, try to fly under the radar. And while in the meantime, they take care of this senile Professor Xavier. And then one day, this woman shows up and tells them, protect this little girl mutant. She's being pursued by an evil organization kind of thing. And because of that, Logan and all of them basically have to protect this girl, even though Logan's powers aren't what they once were. So that's where the fun begins. So for starters, I kind of have to talk about the fact that they finally decided to make a rated R Wolverine movie. It took all this time to finally decide to make one. And I have to say, it definitely deserves its R rating. This is like the most violent Wolverine we've ever seen on screen before. You have claws chopping limbs off, going through people's heads, decapitations. It really makes it earn that R rating, and I really enjoyed that. It didn't hold back this time, like usual. Another thing I really enjoyed about the movie is it's actually pretty grounded. It's not like a lot of superhero movies, where it's all over the top, and it's mostly just like a drama with action scenes sprinkled throughout, which I think is actually pretty good. The tone of the movie has somewhat of a somber tone as it is, because of how the characters are. Logan basically has given up on life at this point. His body's worn down. Everyone he's ever known, basically, besides Professor Xavier's gone. Even Xavier himself is worn down. Like, the man is in his 90s, taking medication to keep himself somewhat sane. And he kind of goes in and out of being crazy and somewhat sane throughout a lot of the movie. That's not to say that the whole movie has like this bleak outlook or anything, though. There's plenty of humor throughout the movie, especially between Logan, Professor Xavier, and the little girl. Throughout the movie, they kind of become like a dysfunctional family kind of thing. And it's actually kind of amusing to watch how they interact throughout the movie as they kind of get to know each other. I also thought it was kind of cool how they made the X-Men comics kind of like a real thing in this franchise. Like, they actually are like kind of like fairy tale kind of things that people read, because the X-Men are kind of like celebrities in a way. And obviously Logan doesn't really enjoy the comics when he sees them, but it's just kind of cool how they threw that in there, like, oh, the X-Men comics are an actual thing in this universe. And it's not even like a throwaway gag kind of thing about it. Like, it actually kind of plays a crucial part in the plot of the movie, which is kind of why I thought it was really interesting that they did that. This movie is definitely going to keep you interested basically the entire time you're watching the movie. It's a little over 2 hours long. Every action scene is basically awesome. Action scenes are well done. Interesting characters, definitely a lot of interesting characters. The movie does sometimes kind of slow down a little bit too long to develop relationships between Logan and the little girl. But, it felt kind of justified in some sense, because it added depth to the movie, Like, once they get into the whole character development part with Logan and the little girl, there's not very much action until basically the third act of the movie, which a lot of people probably might, if you're, like, obsessed with action scenes, you might, not like that very much. To sum everything up, though, I would have to give the movie Logan an A. I mean, besides some pacing issues, towards the middle-ish part of the movie, there's not really much else wrong with the movie at all. Everyone gives great performances, especially Hugh Jackman, Patrick Stewart, and the little girl. I mean, if this is the last portrayal of Wolverine and Professor Xavier and all them, they definitely gave it their all. I mean, they didn't leave anything on the table. I mean, the ending was really satisfying, especially, after 17 years that we've known Wolverine, and this is the end. I mean, part of me wants it to end, and part of me doesn't want it to end, just because, it was such a good movie, and I felt like they finally got, a really great Wolverine solo movie they finally wanted after they tried multiple times. But overall, I thought it was a really satisfying conclusion, if this is the conclusion. But yeah, Logan comes out everywhere tomorrow, March 3rd, so definitely be sure to go check it out. You will not be disappointed. And thanks for watching.